new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Coming up next, we have a story which I mentioned at the top of the show, which is a story about a cat who was believed dead, was then a ghost, was then buried, but then turned up at the owner's doorstep. I mean, it sounds absolutely intriguing. Fiona, you are here to inform us about it. I mean, tell us about this intriguing story.
Hi, Darren. Yes, it's a fabulous little story, and it comes to me through a friend of mine who actually had this experience. And what actually happened was that the cat had hurt its paw. She'd had this cat for about 11 years, so she was very close to the cat, and she decided to bring it to the vet. And when she went to the vet treated it in the cage. Normally, I think they would take them out and have a look at them, but it's quite possible that the vet did, in fact, take the cat out just at the front of the cage and, check it out and then close the door and decide to give it a shot at that point. As soon as the cat had been treated with the vet, my friend decided that, it was time to go, get out of the surgery. There was lots of dogs and cats there, pay for the treatment. So she put the cage down on the floor, and the door of the surgery was open, so the cat just belted out the door. The cat was obviously a little bit upset at being jabbed with a needle. It probably just felt like a bit of a stabbing to a cat. They have very thin skin, so they really would have felt that.
Absolutely. I mean, I just want to recap that as well, because it's not uncommon at all for when you bring a cat in, or any animal indeed, a dog or cat or any other animal, to the vets. It is not essential for them to be sedated. If it's just because it has a sore paw, whatever, what they do is they give them an injection just to ease the pain. So this is what happened. Took the cat in with the cage, gave it an injection to ease the pain. The owner, as was leaving, did not realise that the cage was still open. So it was just a series of unfortunate consequences and coincidences that led to the cat freeing itself from the cage and then...
Yeah, and, the staff were very good. They went out and looked for the cat, but obviously they had a surgery full of animals to take care of and couldn't stay very long, with the search party. So they returned to the surgery, and my poor friend was just left, leaving the surgery with no cat and thinking, gosh, am I ever going to find her again? And a week passed. She was, at this point, really feeling like she was never going to get the cat back, and... was beginning to grieve for the loss of the cat. And a friend of hers contacted her and said they had found a white cat on the side of the road, and that she thought it might be her cat. So when she went to see the cat, it was in the ditch, and it had a broken paw. So she took it that this was her cat. She was very, very upset at the sight of the cat because we'd had very bad weather that week. It was very icy, so the cat was a bit of a mess. So she took the cat back, buried it in the garden, and began that whole grieving process, as you would. It's the same as if somebody dies, especially if you're very close to your pet.
Indeed, you touched on that just as you started to speak, that sometimes if you have an animal who you're so close to, and I know people who are like this, if that animal passes away, it's almost like losing a person. So you are grieving in the same way. So she found the cat where she was informed about, on the side of the road.
Yeah, it wasn't actually
that.
Cat. Yeah, it wasn't that far from where the surgery was, which was funny. But it had been dead for a couple of days, and she tried to get over it as best she could. And then, lo and behold, after a week or two. She, at this stage was hearing the cat's meow, and she thought, well, I'm spiritually connected to this cat somehow, and it's just coming into my mind, and that's all that's happening here. But this one evening, she heard this little meow at the door, went to the back door. It was dark out, and the cat was sitting on the deck, and it was a scrawny little white thing. And she thought she was hallucinating, that,
Because as far as she was concerned, she'd buried the cat.
She buried the cat in the garden. Like, this was all done, dusted. And then the next thing, the cat jumped into her arms, and she realized it still had a little bit of a broken paw. And, she just thought, it's my cat. It's just wonderful to have the cat back. But I just thought it was an amazing story.
It's an incredible coincidence that she just so happened to see a cat that near the vets, which had been killed, obviously.
Yeah.
And also had An injured paw. It was just an incredible coincidence.
It probably got hit by a car. It was at the side of the road, so it could very easily have had a broken paw from an injury like that, you know.
Well, absolutely intriguing story, and of course, Fiona, you'll be back with us next week to give
I
us more.
certainly will.
To give us more of these stories, because that was absolutely intriguing. I just want to remind our listeners, because we had a competition to give away, which was the Camilla synthesis plant, which is a shrub as such that produces tea, leaves are 4 to 15 centimeters long and 2 to 5 centimeters broad, and we have had our winner. Our winner is Amy O'Brien, who has won. She was our lucky winner today. And that concludes today's show. Thank you very much to everybody. Thank you very much to my team, to Brian, to Aisling, to Fiona. You've all been fantastic. Thank you to everybody who listened. We will be back again next week, so tune in then.
Pussycat, pussycat,